Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam and it's Be Positive Sam and I'm feeling positive today. So this video is about weight loss. I follow the Slimming World plan. I can't see why you can't follow if you're doing calorie counting or keto or whatever other diet there is, but this video will be predominantly Slimming World. I had to start again. I didn't have to. I rejoined, if you see my last video, for different reasons. I'd skipped a few weeks, this, that and the other. So yeah, this video I think will be more where to get motivation from, perhaps a few things. There's the police car. A few things that, you know, that might help you. I'm going to have a chat about it anyway. So the one thing I was going to say is it's going to literally be just me standing here trying to give you some tips, trying to do my best to perhaps you miss the pitfalls that I have, you know, fallen into. So I have got notes. I will be looking down from time to time. Because I'm thinking off the top of my head, I will be looking around the room and, you know, looking out the window and rather than just glaring at the, you know, the what do you call it, the camera. So I'm hoping, you know, that you'll bear with. Don't need to watch me if you don't want to, but, you know, I hope you could, you know, perhaps do the washing up, you know, put me on in the background or whatever. And it's just me and you time together. So anyway, let's get on with it. So a couple of things I want to say is, yes, I'm wearing a summer dress. It's from M&Co. It was my mum's and she was throwing it away. She paid $39.99 for it. It still had the label in it. And I thought, there is no way in the world you're throwing that away. So it's just a straight dress. I've got some white leggings on underneath, which I can't really show because I can't get my leg up that high, and a white cardigan from Asda. And this is my little necklace I got from Tilbury, which I love, and I think it looks quite nice together. So I'll put the link down below. This isn't a collab video, but I just thought I'd share what I was wearing in case you was interested. And lipstick is a Charlotte Tilbury one. Don't ask me the shade because I can't remember. So, right, first week back. Now, I decided to carry on in my old book. I don't know, I didn't want to start a brand new book. I just felt, I was so close to the end of my book anyway, I thought I'd just carry on with this one. So what I've done is I've left a big gap. So I went back. I didn't know what my Club 10 was last week. So my Club 10 is 12 stone 11.5, which seems quite a long way off, to be honest. In fact, it's actually below my target what I want to achieve. So I scrapped the Club 10. I usually use that as my first award, but I probably won't with that one. So I lost £3. So I'm still over the 14 stone mark, but hey, it's half a pound, so I can only do my best. Which brings me to the reason why I want to have a chat. Right, why is it so difficult this time round? I can't answer that. Well, I can answer that, but I'm no expert, so I just want to let you all know that I am just little old me, doing my bit, trying to lose weight, and just doing the best I can. So, a couple of years ago, back in 17, what are we in now? 6 years ago now, obviously 6 years younger, I am 51 now. So 51, so I was 46, 45, 46, something like that when I was, I can't remember the exact date. That's 5 years ago. Now I'm obviously menopausal. And life was a bit different back then. And it only seemed like a little while ago. And I think, like I've told you this before in some of my other videos, I was addicted to losing weight. I breathed, ate, just everything was Slimming World. My Christmases were Slimming World. I didn't, if I went out, you know, I sat there and I did not eat. If we went to Darts, for example, and they brought out the sandwiches or the bread, I did not touch a thing. As much as I wanted to, I was like, no. Weight loss was far too important for me. So I just didn't bother. And people were like, oh, well, Sam, you know, your motivation and you is phenomenal. You know, they're like, well, can't believe you can't, you know, you're not eating it. And I was like, no. But when I look back now, I'm thinking, do you know, I actually missed out on quite a lot. You know, it stopped me from going out for meals, if you like, because I was worried about the sins, because I never used to eat. Now, with the Slimming World plan, you can have up to 15 sins, depending on how much you've got to lose. So I never used to eat my sins, which was stupid, really, because that's what they were there for. They were there to stop you from, you know, feeling left out. So why didn't I use my sins? But I do now. I am not, I've said this time and time again in my videos, I am not going to be addicted to the scales, to numbers, not doing it. I lost my son-in-law, you know, last year, and you know, it's a year ago, sort of this week, and it still bothers me to this day. But I'm not going to break down in tears like I did last time, because I can talk about it now without crying. And you know, and that's the moment that I realised, do you know, life is just far too short to worry about, you know, stepping on scales and losing 2 pounds. It's just, but I don't want to put on weight. Don't get me wrong. I want to still lose weight, but it's not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna get depressed over putting on a pound like I did last time. I mean, I broke down in tears. I put on 2 pounds this 1 week, and I as far as I was concerned, I'd done nothing wrong, and I absolutely broke down in tears. I mean, people must have thought, whatever is wrong with her. So don't make it addictive. Try and incorporate life in the plan. This is what I'm doing this time round. This is why I'm finding it a lot more difficult, but I'm having a nice time doing it. I'm going out for meals. I'm going out and seeing my friends. I'm enjoying myself. If I want an alcoholic drink, I'll have an alcoholic. I don't drink alcohol as a rule, but if I do fancy one, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't drink every day. I don't, and so a little and often, I can't see can hurt me. So I'm losing weight slowly. I'm feeling more confident every day, and I'm feeling a lot better in myself. So I can't really go in tip 1, tip 2, because I'm going to probably waffle on and merge it all together. But the key thing is trying to find the balance. You know, like I say, you don't want to go out and get plastered every night and have a Chinese every day, you know, and a McDonald's and a KFC, you know, 7 days a week. You're not going to lose weight that way, clearly. But on a Friday night, have a drink with your friends, and then next week, you know, like you might go to the cinema or whatever, you know, take some healthy snacks with you. But if you want to eat a bit of popcorn, eat a bit of popcorn. Can't see how, you know, apart from annoying everyone else in the cinema, you'll be enjoying yourself. But, you know, it's finding that balance, and the only person that can find the balance is you, because you know how your body is, and you know what makes you tick, what makes you go over. It's just like me, for example, I cannot eat one biscuit. I cannot do it. I tried. So I'd rather not eat the packet because I open the packet because I know that the packet will go. So but I can't go in life without a biscuit, you know, ever again. So if I go around someone's house or when I'm playing bowls and they've got biscuits on the table, I know I'm going to pick up a little packet of 2 biscuits. I'm joining in with the table. I'm not sitting there like a grump. And I know I can only eat then 2 biscuits because that's all I've got. Whereas if I'm at home and I open the packet is gone within minutes, if not even that long, to be perfectly honest. So, you know, and the other thing is, like, you know, and I say it myself time and time again, you know, why can't I do it this time? Why is it so much harder? Just don't give up on yourself. You know, you're going to find it more difficult because you're doing it a slightly different way. You know, you keep fighting yourself. The only person it's affecting is you. So sometimes it's better to just think, oh, do you know, scrap. Don't keep fighting myself. Why am I fighting myself? You're never going to win the battle because you're fighting yourself. Just take a breath. Take a step back. Assess the situation and you think, I've got to start again. I've got to start again. And it doesn't matter if you start again 6 or 10 times a year. That doesn't matter. You get to a certain plateau and you think, I've got to start again. And sometimes by starting again, when we start again, we sort of feel like a new member. Now, if you're at Slimming World, I don't know what it's like at Weight Watchers or the other groups, I don't know. But if you're at Slimming World and you're sitting there and you're feeling stuck and you feel like, oh, I don't want to stay, and stay. Talk to your consultant. Say to your consultant, I'm in a tricky place. Sit to a new members talk. Sometimes, and I know we know it. You know, we know we're going to have 2 A's and a B and different things like that. But sometimes just sitting in the new members talk and drawing that line and starting again is enough to make you feel like a new member. Class it as a new member. Try different foods that week. Try not to fall back into the same trap you were stuck in, because that's the other thing. We end up picking the same foods because it's easy. We know, you know, I know that 2 Weet-Bix is my B, for example. Change it. Measure up some porridge, for example. Put it in some bags. Measure it up. Put them in a pot. So all you got to do is pick out a bag that you've already measured. You haven't got to keep getting scales out every week. Do things like that. Change things up. And then that way, hopefully, because what is it they say? Something won't change if there is no change. So, you know, sit in the new members group. Feel like a beginner. Sit there, listen, take it all in. Highlight the things in your book and think to yourself, I am going to start this again. I'm going to give it a go. And the one best thing you can do is start back at basic. Basic. Don't worry about what you did last time. Don't worry about 5 years ago. Don't worry about what you did last week. Worry about today, the here and now, and you can move forward. Don't keep beating yourself up of what you did do, how you found it easy, what you know, things that you ate that made you lose weight. Bodies change from day to day, yearly, you know, especially ladies. And if I could give any tip, I would say sit in a new members chat. You haven't got to restart as in, you know, rejoin, but sit in the new members talk. Get a diary. Start back to basics. Try and find a different food or different thing that might help you, you know, get back on that plan, because I guarantee that if you stick to a basic plan for 1 week as a new member, you will lose weight, and you stay at that group that next week, and you will have a buzz, and you will feel like all of a sudden it's like, yes, and then that positive grows. So I don't know if that's making sense. You might be going, oh, shucks, Samantha, don't be so stupid. I don't want to start again. I've lost 5 stone. I don't mean physically start again, like with your, lose all your stone award. I'm talking about in your head and perhaps in your book, draw a line, leave a gap, and do it that way. So I don't want you to lose, all your awards and things, because that's what I've just done. But that was my decision to make. Nobody forced me to do that. I decided that enough was enough. I know in my head when I started, I was 16.1. So I felt that the stickers, as much as I like getting them, it didn't really matter, because I know that I was, 16.1 or whatever it was. No, I was more than 16.1. 11 and a half, I think. Something like that. Anyway, I was nearly back to where I was, at nearly 17 stone. And I think, well, I'm not there now, and I'm just chipping away. I don't need the little awards. I use them as my little goalposts. So it could say, I don't care if it just says half all the time. I just want half all the time. That's what I do. So the other thing that I stopped doing, that I used to do, is I used to write a shopping list. And to be honest, I should go back to starting it again. And I will go back to starting it again. I used to spend an hour of my time the night before I went shopping. And I never used to go breakfast, dinner and tea. I used to roughly work out my meals for the evening for the family. And I've stopped doing that. So, of course, when you go to the shop, I haven't got a list. So then it's like, oh, what can I have? Oh yeah, all right, I'll eat just take some sausages and some mince. Then I'll just try to concoct something up. Of course, you never do. You then go to the freezer to get, because you've not organised yourself. And, it's like, oh, I'm hungry, what can I get? Oh, yeah, there's a bag of chips, oh, I'll get that. Or, whatever. So I think if you could spend an hour or half an hour of your time and plan each, it doesn't have to do the one meal that's the most difficult for you. See, now, for example, I have fruit and yogurt nearly every day of the week. So it's pointless me writing down fruit and yogurt, an apple or I'll just eat what fruit is there. Now, the lunch can sometimes be difficult because I might be busy, and the same with my evening meal. So, for example, it might be, I don't know, fruit this morning, a ham and salad, pitta, and then tonight I might have fish and chips, Slimming World salmon and Slimming World chips, for example. I'm not having this is what. So, and so forth. Now, so I know I've got to buy some pittas for that. I then, and then say it's just so on Wednesday, for example, I might have a chilli, and I think, oh God, I'm really busy I ain't got time to make the chilli, but I've got time to have, I don't know, a slimming meal, for example, out of the freezer. I can switch and change my days over because I know I'm still within the sins and the plan. Does that make sense to you? So, you don't think to yourself, oh my God, it's Wednesday. Oh, I'm so busy, but I've wrote chilli down, so I've got to stick to chilli. And I don't really want a pita bread for lunch because I've had scrambled eggs for breakfast. So you can switch and change it, but it's a guidance. It's a guidance to what to buy. It's a guidance of what to eat. And I think that is a big help, to be honest. But I do usually just do the main evening meals. And then I write down if I'm busy so I can switch and change them over. The other thing is I always go to group. I do always go to group. I don't weigh at home. I have tried. I just do not have the motivation or the willpower to stand at home on the scales. Now, I know in this time at the moment, financially, it's quite difficult out there. I totally understand that for some. And it might be a case that you can't attend, but you use these YouTubes as guidance, which is great. If you can do that, that's fantastic. Now, I go around my mum's, for example. She can't afford to go to group, so I go around there on a Wednesday. She stands on the scales every Wednesday morning, and I help her just try and lose a bit of weight. And because she knows I'm going round there, she sort of tends to stick to it a little bit. And I've told her, you know, not to. She because she lives alone, she finds it difficult to cook. So I feel that this plan works for lots of different ways, but you've just got to find out the way that it suits you. You know, who says you can't have a jacket potato for breakfast? It's free. You might want to eat a jacket potato for breakfast. You might work nights. You know, why is it that cereal was classed as breakfast? Why can't we have breakfast to tea and a chilli in the morning? Personally, I can't do that, but some people can. You know, just because it's labelled breakfast, it doesn't mean to say, you know, that you have to eat it at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, we've all got different lifestyles. So anyway, waffling on, I forgot what I was saying now. So I tend to weigh at group because I just don't have the motivation at home. And these last 2 weeks, literally, I rejoined, and then I left. I only stayed for about half an hour in group and I had to leave. And then last week, and I lost the £3, I had to run in and leave. And, you know, it makes such a big difference staying. You sit there, you know, I use it as a social, you know, social gathering, as if I'm going to the pub on a Friday night. You know, to me, it's my group. I go there, I speak to whoever wants to sit next to me. I got my cup of coffee or chocolate or whatever I fancy, and I sit there. And I guarantee somebody, even if they're asking for a raffle ticket, you know, I stand there and have a chat with them. And I really get involved in the group because I don't want to just sit there on my own. So I want to become friends with people. I use it as my social event. And yeah, a cup of tea and a chat. I mean, I don't even stick to one cup of tea, you know. I usually have about 2 or 3. So who cares? So, you know, if you do get a chance of going to the group, I would recommend going because I feel that it would be beneficial to you. The other, now this is my last tip because I know I'm waffling on for a bit here. Goals and targets. Now, I haven't sort of touched on this just a minute ago. Personally, I have set a goal. It did seem quite far away when I first set the goal. But they don't. To be honest, I don't think you need to set a goal. I think they can become negative and quite disheartening, to be perfectly honest, because some of their goals are, you know, I think to myself, well, I weighed 11 stone 5 years ago. I want to get back there. Realistically, I'm not going to get to 11 stone. And when I look back, I actually think, you looked a little bit on the thin side, Samantha. I did feel great, yes. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel great. But I did at the time. Now I'm over 50, I'm thinking, you know, I've got a little bit of sagging going on, you know. Do I really want to wear my, you know, vest and pants out? No, I cover up and, you know, be more respectable. So I personally think you should scrap your goals and you should scrap your targets and just go for little targets and goals. I just, the amount of people that I see, they go, oh, I've got my daughter's wedding, I'm going to lose 4 stone, I want to get into this size 10 dress, and each week they're beating themselves up over, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't. Then they're fighting themselves, like I said in the beginning. If you didn't have a goal and you just go, I'll buy myself something when I reach a month beforehand, or when I'm going on holiday, or whatever, but I'm just going to chip away. This week I want to lose £2. Next week I want to lose £2. All of a sudden you're losing half a stone to a stone, and you're on the right track. And I feel, if I was to say, I want to lose 3 stone by so and so, and you don't achieve it, it's like, oh, I failed. And you don't want to feel like a failure. You don't want to feel like a failure. You want to feel, you know, that you've achieved something. So if you keep saying, right, I'm going to lose half a stone. I'm going to get to I'm going to get to my half a stone. You get to your half. Don't say when, don't say where, how, or anything. So I'm going to get to my half a stone. Then you get to your half a stone and you're like, yes, I'm finally there. Right, I'm going to get to my half a stone, which is obviously a stone. And you go, and then you get there. Not, I'm going to get there in 6 weeks, or I'm going to get there in, you know, whatever, by such and such. You say, I am going to get there. So if it takes you 3 months, it doesn't matter. You will get there, because that's what you want to do. So, small little goals, I think, is the key. Now, what else is there left for me to say? I'll probably think of something else to say. I hope that I haven't waffled on and bored the pants off you. I hope you found this slightly inspirational, motivational perhaps, you know, and if you're struggling and you need to get your mojo back, you know, it's one of them things that when something snaps, all of a sudden everything else will work. I lost my mojo, and I'd be the first to put my hand up and say I was struggling. You can tell when somebody's struggling, you know, although, you know, it's because they go quiet or whatever. I mean, I gone quiet because I'm a little bit busy, but I've got the house to myself today, so I can waffle on for Britain today, and I'm off to the bowls club a bit later. So I wanted to wear my t-shirt, which I got into, and I wanted to wear a pair of shorts, which I've got. So I didn't buy any new ones because I am a bit of a tight bird. I just kept my other ones, but they're baggier. But I do need to buy some, and I will buy some, but they're out of stock at the moment. So yeah, we've all got these little goals, and we've got these gremlins, and see, if you're struggling, you're not alone. Please don't think you are. If you want to comment about any of the things that I've spoke about, please do. We are here. It's a community, which is what I was saying about in group. It's a social. I love it. Slimming World has its own little community, and I am so pleased that I am part of it. And I'm glad that you are joining me too. So let's hope for a better weight loss this week. If I stay the same, I'll stay the same. It doesn't affect me either way, because I know that I'm having fun, living life, and trying to balance losing weight a little bit at a time. So thank you for watching, and if you've not subscribed before, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.